It's time once again for some HTBL baseball. Big Paulie coming to you. On the calendar of this season one, it is April 25th. The recording date is July 8th, 2021, coming to you from Champa Bay, Florida, or just west of Champa. Yes, I'm gloating a little bit that the Tampa Bay Lightning won back-to-back Stanley Cups. Very happy about that. But you didn't come here to hear me gloat. We have some baseball to play, and play baseball we will. We're going to look at the Boston Red Sox today. They have been struggling a little bit. They are 7-10, and we'll have them playing the Baltimore Orioles at Fenway Park. Let's look at the games from April 24th. And this will be everybody's 18th game today, and we're going to recap how everybody did in games 17 for everybody. Yesterday, when all your troubles seemed so far away, it was the Orioles over the Red Sox 4-2. Palmer went to 3-1, and Clemens 0-3. Kenny Singleton 3 for 4 and a double. The Yankees had little trouble with the Rays, 6-2. It was Guidry 3-1 over Hubble 2-1. Babe Ruth, a homer, his fourth. He had 2 walks. The White Sox beat the Blue Jays 13-1. Faber over Henkin. Faber now 1-2. Henkin 2-1. The Big Hurt, Frank Thomas 2-4, a homer and 3 RBIs. Great song by Tony Fisher back in the day called The Big Hurt, which kind of sounded like it came from a shortwave station in Switzerland. The Tigers over the Indians 8-3. It was Trucks over Lemon. Trucks 1-1, Lemon 2-1. Hank Greenberg 2 for 3, a triple and a double. It was the Astros over the Browns 6-2. Don Wilson over Davenport. Wilson 3-1. Davenport 1-3, and Williams went 2 for 4, a homer and 2 ribbies. The Phillies continue their winning ways. They're up to 13-4 and have the best record in the HTBL. They defeated the Mets 5-4. Roberts went to 2-2. Randy Myers 0-2. Hundley, 2 for 4 and a homer. The Marlins over the Nats 3-1. Nolasco over Hahn. Nolasco 2-2. Hahn 1-2. Church 2 for 4 and a homer. The Reds over the Braves 6-4. It was Walters over Maddox. Walters 2-0. Maddox 2-1. Justice 2 for 4 and 2 home runs for the Bravos. The Expos over the Pirates 6-3. Marshall 2-0 over Tannenhill 1-3. Carey went 2 for 4, 2 home runs on the day to get the 4 and 3 RBIs. The Twins over the Royals 5-2. Blyleven over Splittorf. Blyleven is now 2-2. Splittorf 1-2, and George Brett 1 for 3 and a homer and 2 ribbies. The Cardinals 6-4 over the Milwaukee Brewers. They're going to have quite a fight for the NL Midwest division, I could see. It was Gibson 3-1 over Nabel 1-1. Paul Molitor 2 for 4, a homer and a triple. The Cubs lose again. They lose to the Rockies 7-2. Willis 2-1 over Zambrano 1-1. Helton 3 for 4 and a double. The Angels over the A's 7-2. Lackey over Hunter. Lackey 1-2. Hunter 1-3. Herman 3 for 5 and a double. In the game you saw on our last episode, it was the Rangers over the Mariners 5-3. Mullen 3-1. Rudolph 2-2, and Juan Gonzalez went 2 for 4 and a homer and 2 RBIs. The Padres goosed the Diamondbacks 4-0. Johnson at 2-1. Heron at 1-2. Gonzalez 1 for 4 and a homer. And the Dodgers defeat the Giants 12-4 in a bit of a mauling. Hershiser 3-0, Kane 1-1, Piazza 4 for 5, 2 homers to get to 8 on the season, and 6 RBIs. So that brings us to today, the 25th of April on the calendar, and we will play out Boston and Baltimore from Fenway Park. And we will set this game up right before your very eyes, such as they are, or they may be. Put the lineup in for Boston. You're going to notice a lot of star players on the bench, and we'll go through that. A lot of talent on the bench. as the computer AI has made some interesting decisions over the first 17 games for the Red Sox. They come in 7-10 on the year. Baltimore 10-7.
Pitching for Boston, Mel Parnell.
Mel Parnell will be pitching for Boston. Let's go through the lineup as you hear the cry of play ball. Here at Fenway Park, 51 degrees, winds 13 mile an hour from right to left. Jim Gentile is your DH. He leads off, despite the fact that he could probably hit a few home runs. Woodling is in left. He bats second. Singleton in right bats third. Eddie Murray, first base, batting fourth. Ripken at short bats fifth. Grich at second base bats sixth. Robinson at third bats seventh. Brandt is in center, batting eighth, and Gus Triandos is the catcher, batting ninth. Rucker will pitch. Defensively for the Red Sox, Jim Ed Rice, a 6 and a 6 in left field. No Ted Williams there, you'll note. Freddie Lynn, a 9 and a 6 in center. J.D. Drew is a 7 and a 6 in right. Boggs, a 6 at third. Garcia Parra, a 6 at shortstop. Frankie Fritsch, who the Boston Red Sox picked up in the draft, is a 9 at second. He normally played for the St. Louis Cardinals. Youkilis is an 8 at first base. Behind the plate, Veritek, 7 and a 4-arm. Pitching is Mel Parnell, 430 on the year, a 1-1 record, 14 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 19 hits and 5 walks and has gotten 4 men out on strikes. His whip and opposing batting average above the real-life averages that he should have. So leading off is going to be Gentile, and I think I'm going to go blind before this game's over with because the graphics are so unreadable, and I can't fix that now. Gentile is 333 on the year. He's only had 12 at-bats, no homers, and 3 RBIs. So Parnell will deal, and that's up the middle. Frisch over to Youkilis for the first out. Up next, Gene Woodling. Woodling on the year is 269, a homer, and 4 RBIs. Grounded to the first baseman, Youkilis. He'll take it to the bag unassisted for the second out. Kenny Singleton, 243 on the year, no homers, and 2 RBIs. That's a base hit to left for Kenny. Thought about going to second, and we have an injury. Let me see. It was Singleton tweaking a hamstring, but he will remain in the game. That brings up Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray is 261, and that's 2 homers and 9 RBIs so far on the year, 69 at-bats. Sharply hit to third. Actually, it was a slow grounder, and they go to Youkilis for the 1 out, but it was enough to retire the side.
Rucker.
Nat Rucker will pitch for Baltimore. We'll get through to that in all detail in a moment. Let's go through the Boston lineup. Boggs leads off. He plays third base, I should say, because I just told you he leads off. Frankie Frisch is at second, batting second. Lynn is at center, batting third. Stanley, the DH, bats fourth. Again, an interesting choice for DH there. J.D. Drew is in right, batting fifth. Rice in left field, batting sixth. Youkilis at first, batting seventh. Garcia Parra is your shortstop, batting eighth. Veritek is your catcher, batting ninth. And let me just show you the bench here. Actually, Williams is not on. That's interesting. Well, anyway, we'll go through all of this in a moment. I control Boston as they are the home team. But let's go through the lineup here for Baltimore defensively. Woodling is a 6 and a 6 in left. That's 6 range and a 6 arm. Brandt is a 7 and a 6 at center. Singleton is a 5 and a 7 in right. Robinson a 10 at third, but what else would he be? Cal Ripken a 7 at short. Grich is a 9 at second. Murray a 9 at first behind the plate. Triandos is a 6 and an 8 at catcher. And Rucker looking like he is either a 5 or a 6 range, because I can't read the font with Baltimore's colors, so I will apologize for that in advance. Boggs starts us off for Baltimore, not for Boston, 205, no homers and 3 RBIs. Up the middle to the second baseman, over to first to Murray, and that's the first out. So 4-3 on the putout, Grich to Murray. Frisch is your number 2 hitter, 261, 1 homer and 6 RBIs. Base hit to left center, and Frisch is going to stay at first base. Frisch is 58% odds of stealing second base, so we will just keep him there. Freddie Lynn, 246 on the year, no homers and 6 RBI. All 4, so Boston with a scoring threat, and that's walk number 1 for Knapp Rucker. We forgot to mention Rucker's stats, as I am wont to do sometimes. He has a 2.20 ERA. Counting the first out that Boston has gotten, he has pitched 28 and 2/3 innings, 1-1, 22 hits, 1 homer surrendered, 9 walks, and he has struck out 26. Doing better than he should be in real life. So Stanley comes in, 286, only 14 at-bats, no homers, no ribbies. And the bases are now loaded for J.D. Drew, who is 143 on the year, no homers and 2 RBIs. And that is going to be, let's see, that was a line drive. Grich made the catch at second base. And he just tried to go to the second to get the force, but it was not in time. So if the base is loaded and 2 out, the last hope for the Red Sox here is Jim Rice, who is hitting the cover off the ball, 385, 2 homers and 11 ribbies. And this is a grounder to third. Web gem by Robinson to throw to Grich and get the force at second base. So we have played an inning, no score. I'm going to pause for a moment and see if I can get the Orioles to show up in a color that I could see, so stand by. Okay, I have fixed the color schematics. Hopefully there will be no wonkiness. If so, we'll just have to wade through it. Cal Ripken is up for Baltimore, 295 on the year, 3 homers and 14 RBIs. We're in the second inning, a scoreless tie to this point. And this is hit well to center, but Lynn should have it, and he does, right by the warning track, and there's 1 out. Bobby Grich, 262 on the year, 2 homers and 10 RBI. And that's ball 4, and Grich is running towards the Atlantic Ocean. Sometimes when you save the game and you come back to it, the base running gets a little wonky, among other things. So we go to Brooks Robinson, 206 on the year, 2 homers and 7 RBIs. Grounder to short. Garcia Parra will throw to Euclid, safe. As you can see, the layout is all kinds of screwed up. So runners at first and second now for Brandt. And Brandt is hitting 258. We're just going to have to do the best we can with it. 258, no homers, and 1 RBI. Runners at first and second with 1 out. That's the situation right now. This is going to be a grounder to third. I think that was a double play. I am not sure. But teams have switched sides, so I am guessing that's what happened. So no runs, a hit, and no errors for Baltimore in their second. We go to the bottom of the second. It's no score. Kevin Euclid, 281 on the year, 1 homer and 4 RBIs. That's hit to the shortstop, and Murray, that looks like an off throw, but it's an out, trust me. Garcia, this is going to be like calling a football game on a snowy field, I think. Nomar is 235, 2 homers and 9 RBIs. He is the 8 hitter, plays shortstop, and that's a strikeout. Bringing up Jason Varitek, who is 148 on the year, 2 homers and 5 RBIs. And that's a base hit to left, I think. And Varitek on board with a base hit. Wade Boggs, as Boston goes back to the top of the order in the second inning. He is 0 for 1. And this is hit to center. Brandt should get to it, and he does. A great play by Brandt. Side retired for Boston in their second. We go to the third. No score. Castellanos, last of the hitters going through for the first time. 204, 2 homers, 7 RBIs. And this is a base hit to left field. Rice scoops it up, and Triandos is on base with a single. Back to the top of the order for Baltimore, and Jim Gentile, 0 for 1 so far today. And that's ball 4, and people moving around the strange places on the chalkboard. So we're just going to have to deal with it, folks, because I want to get this. I want you to see Boston, and tomorrow I think we're going to do the Washington Nets. Gene Woodling is 0 for 1. Hit well to right. Drew giving chase, and it is caught. And we are not going to stop Triandos from advancing to third. Kenny Singleton is 1 for 1 on the day. 1 out, top of the third. Scoreless tie. Hit to center. Lynn will make the catch. And do we press for the... Do we throw home? Oh, we'll throw home. What the hell? Safe is the call. Gentile moves to second base, and it's 1-0 Baltimore. Eddie Murray back up, 0 for 1. So we played 2.5. That was the third out for Baltimore. Went back to Parnell. And Euclid got it at first to retire the side. Okay, so it's 1-0 after 2.5. See if I can do anything about the park layout here. No, everything is as normal, but for some reason the computer just likes to go batty. If I reset the layout, it just... That's what it's doing. It's acting like I reset the layout when I didn't. So Frankie Frisch up 1 for 1 on the day. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Baltimore. This is skied the third. Actually, no, this is going to be caught by the shortstop. Yes, 1 out. That's another thing that happens is the play slows down a little bit. See if I can do anything about this, because this is... Yeah, I can't do anything. It doesn't look like I can do anything about it. Probably is something I can do about it. Okay, let's try that. Freddie Lynn up. He walked in the first inning. Rutgers at 38 pitches. Let's see what happens. And this is skied to right. Singleton moving over, and he makes the putout for the second out in the Boston third. Stanley comes back in. He also had a walk in inning number 1. And now it's working normal. Okay. Maybe, okay, I'll have to make a note of that changing the video chalkboard settings could bring normalcy back. So let's just play as normal. J.D. Drew is 0 for 1.
Strike 3.
And there you go. Side retired for Boston in the third. They have left 5 on already. We have played 3. It is the Orioles 1 and the Red Sox nothing. Starting the fourth inning is Cal Ripken Jr. He's 0 for 1 on the day. And this is a grounder to second. Frisch, Euclid, 1 out. Score that 4-3. Gritch up. Gritch also did not have an at-bat, official at-bat earlier. He walked in inning number 2. And Gritch hits this to the wall, and he will be at second base with a double. A poor play by the third baseman, who is Wade Boggs. Set that up. It is Robinson, Brooks Robinson, 1 for 1 on the day. And this is hit to left. Rice comes in, makes the grab, and there's now 2 out in the Baltimore fourth. Brandt is 0 for 1, Jackie Brandt. And that's a foul ball. Not exactly the best of photos for Fenway Park, if you ask me. Count is now up to 0-2. Grounder to second. Frisch is going to have to hurry. He gets the first in time. And that retires Baltimore in the fourth. We've played now 3.5. It is 1-0. Boston trailing. And here's Jimmy Rice, who is 0 for 1. Grounder over to Murray, I beg your pardon, and that's the first out. So score that 5-3, Robinson to Murray. Kevin Youkilis is an 8-game hitting streak, but he's 0 for 1 so far today. Great play by Ripken, robs Youkilis there of a possible base hit, throws to Murray for the second out. Garcia Parra is 0 for 1. Grounded to Grich, and that was actually a line drive. So Boston quickly down in order in the fourth. We have now played 4. It is 1-0 in favor of Baltimore still. If you're wondering what has happened with Ted Williams, I'm going to look up and see. Oh, Williams is inactive? Okay. What I do before the start of each game is I will, if it's an odd day, I will look at the batters, and if it's an even day, I look at the pitchers. But I will randomly pick a team, and I will make one transaction and adjust their lineup. Like if somebody with a high on base plus slugging average is inactive, I make them active, and I send somebody down. But I have not had that luck with Boston and Ted Williams. And sometimes I think the game makes moves of their own. So we go to the top of the fifth. It is Gus Triandos. He is 1 for 1. Why would you not have Teddy Ballgame if you run the Boston Red Sox? That's, let's see here. That was 5-3 on the putout. And there's one gone. Jim Gentile is 0 for 1. Pitcher over the cover, Youkilis to Parnell. And he has the second out. Parnell is at 76 pitches. His EPC is 140. Rucker is at 65, and he can go 135. Woodling is 0 for 2. And this is hit well to right center. And Drew will watch it go. A home run for Gene Woodling. And that pads Baltimore's lead to 2-0. Kenny Singleton is 1 for 1. Parnell is at 78 pitches. And that is hit to the wall and a double for Ken Singleton. Boggs made a bad play, and that's the second time that's happened so far in this game. Murray, 0 for 2. He strikes out, the first strikeout for Parnell. So Baltimore, with a run in the fifth, they now lead 2-0. Jason Varitek is 1 for 1. And Varitek gets the base hit to left field. He's on board. Boggs stepping back in. Wade Boggs. He is 0 for 2. Boston now going through their lineup a third time. Let's see if it bears fruit. Grounder to second. Grich. Murray, they get the put out there, which is going to advance Varitek to second base. 1 out. Frankie Frisch is 1 for 2. Grounded to first. Murray will go unassisted, but that'll allow Varitek to get to third for the second out. Bringing up Freddie Lynn, who is 0 for 1 today. Ball 4. And that is walk number 4 for Knapp Rucker this evening. And Mike Stanley comes up. Stanley has not had an at-bat yet. He has walked twice, once in the first and once in the third. A little confab at the mound, which is now over. Here's the pitch. That's strike number 3. Strikeout number 3. Well, both, actually. So we've now played 5 innings. It's still 2-0 Baltimore. Cal Ripken is 0 for 2. Grounded to third. Boggs. Youkilis, 1 out. Bobby Grich is 1 for 1. Up the middle. Right to the pitcher, Parnell with the play. Over to Youkilis for out number 2. That brings up Brooks Robinson, who is 1 for 2. To Parnell, to Youkilis, third out. So we've now played 5.5, and we are at 2-0 in favor of the Baltimore Orioles. We saw Baltimore play back in the very first game against the Yankees, and we have not seen them since. J.D. Drew is 0 for 2. That's K number 4 for Nap Rucker. He's had a busy line score, 4 walks and 4 Ks. Jim Rice, you know you're not going to keep Boston off the scoreboard all day, I don't think. 0 for 2, but Rucker doing a good job, and that's a play. Nice stab by Ripken for the second out. Euclid is now 0 for 2. That's a base hit to left, and he goes 1 for 3. Garcia Parra is 0 for 2. And Ripken again, he's Johnny on the spot. Side retired for Boston in the 6th. 2-0, Baltimore still leading as we go to the 7th, and Jackie Brandt, who is 0 for 2. Parnell's at 94 pitches. He could probably go to distance if he doesn't get into any more trouble. But speak of the devil, it's a fly ball to left field, and it is gone. Jackie Brandt with a home run, a solo shot, and it's 3-0 now in favor of the Orioles. That brings up Gus Triandos, who is 1 for 2. That's hit the left. I sound like Elmer Fudd sometimes. And that's caught by Rice for the first out. To left. Okay. Jim Gentile is 0 for 2, and Baltimore again at the top of the order. I think that's their 4th time. Base hit to left for Jim. And he'll stay at first base on that with a single. Gene Woodling is 1 for 3. Right to Frisch. They'll try to double up. They get the double play. 7th inning stretch time. Well, it's been a quiet game. Baltimore trying to rattle the neighbors, but Boston so far, even though they haven't scored a run, it's only a one-swing game still at 3-0. Big Paulie coming to you with the bottom of the 7th inning. Brought to you by absolutely nobody. Jason Varitek is 2 for 2. And that's going to be a tough play, but Robinson, that's why they call him Hoover, gets the throw over to Murray, difficult as it might have been, and there's 1 out. Boggs 0 for 3. And Wade, a slow ground ball. Robinson, did he make it? No, Boggs is aboard with an infield hit. So Brooks Robinson is not immortal after all. Frankie Frisch is 1 for 3. Sharply hit the right field to the wall. And let's see here. We're going to wave Boggs in. Play at the plate. He's safe. Frisch is going to move to third base on a triple. And it is 3-1. See, I told you we weren't going to keep the Red Sox off the board. They're just too good. No matter who's pitching. So a point of stress here for Tucker, who was pitching a shutout up until then. 6 1/3, 6 hits, 4 walks, 4 Ks. And that's going to bring up Freddie Lynn, who is now 0 for 1. Grounder to the second baseman, Gritch. And we're going to send Frisch home. Throw to first. We'll be in time, but it's a 3-2 game. So now 1 swing of the bat and we're tied. Here's Mike Stanley. He is 0 for 1, 2 walks on the day. Hit the center, Brandt underneath it, and the side retired. 2 runs for Boston in the bottom of the 7th. They now only trail 3-2. Parnell looks strong. He's at 105 pitches. I definitely think he can get through the 8th, and then we'll see what happens from there. Singleton is 2 for 2, and he strikes out. K number 2 for Parnell. Parnell is at 7 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 home runs, 2 walks, and 2 Ks. Murray is 0 for 3. And that is hit the third, Boggs. And did he get him? He's out. The throw just beats Murray, advancing to first base. 2 out now in the top of the 8th for Cal Ripken Jr., the Iron Man, 0 for 3. Slow grounder to short. No, actually, it was caught by the pitcher, I think, and that's to Euclid for the 3rd out. No, it was fielded by Garcia Parra, so call that a 6-3 and not a 1-3. We've played 7.5. It's a 3-2 Orioles lead. J.D. Drew is 0 for 3. He plays right. And JD is, let's see here, he's 285 against righties, which is what Rucker is not. He's a lefty, so he's 265. So the proverbial question of who can hit a lefty raises its head, and we're going to go with Dewey Evans. Yes, that man, Dwight Evans, to replace him. Yes, I know he's there, but can you put him in the pinch hit for me? Thank you. Evans is 367 on the year, no homers and 8 RBIs. So he has seen playing time. Here's the pitch to him. And that's a K, number 5 for Rucker today. At 127 pitches. He's getting close to his EPC. We'll stick with Jim Rice because he hits lefties 310. That's a base hit to right field, and Rice is aboard. Not a threat to steal. And we still have on our bench Ellsbury, Pesky, Reynolds, Yastrzemski, and Valentine. Euclid is 1 for 3. Oh, a throw over to first, not in time. Rucker deals. And can Brandt get to this? Yes, he can. 2nd out recorded for Baltimore in the 8th. It's now Garcia Parra, 0 for 3. Garcia Parra hits lefties 316. And what does Yastrzemski hit? He hits lefties 261, but his OPS is the best, so we're saving him for a spot here. Garcia Parra is 0 for 3. And that's a foul ball, so we'll just do it over again. The count advances to 1-2. Grounder to third. Robinson. Murray, 3rd out. So we'll go to the 9th. Parnell is at 120 pitches. He should be able to get through this inning. And that's what I'm going to bank on for now. We have played 8. It's 3-2 Baltimore over Boston. Gritch is 1 for 2. Oh, that's right. I'm missing a right fielder. I should probably take care of that. So we can bring in Ellsbury, who's a 982 and a 7. Or I can put Dewey in with his 9. I'm going to put Evans in the game, and he can play right field because he's an 8 with a 9 arm. That might come in handy if Parnell gets into trouble. So Gritch is 1 for 2. Grounded to short. No, it's a base hit. Garcia Parra was in the area, but not there. And that's a base hit for Gritch. Robinson, 1 for 3. Be careful here, Boston. And that's ball 4. That gets his pitch count to 131. He's 9 shy. And we're going to tell the outfielders, guard the lines. Play no doubles. Jackie Brandt, and we should tell the infielders to guard the lines too. Jackie Brandt is 1 for 3. There'll be a discussion on the mound before the pitch, and here it is. And that's hit well to center, and that's gone. A line drive home run for Jackie Brandt. I think that's his 2nd on the day. And that busts the game wide open at 6-2. That was just a line drive that just kept going up and going up and going up. You'll see the discussion as our editor didn't edit the tape properly, and that was just a bullet And Jackie Brandt has his second home run of the day for Boston to make it a 6-2 game. That's going to be curtains for Mel Parnell. We'll bring in a reliever. And I will look just to make sure I don't put my stopper in, which is Papelbon. We go righty, lefty, lefty. So I'm going to put somebody who's good with the lefties in. And we're gonna put Kojei Uhara in. Kojei Uhara on the year, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 1 hit surrendered, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. He's 1-0. Put him in here against Gus Triandos, who is 1 for 3. Sharply hit the left. Did that get out too? It did. Gus Triandos with a home run. He'll take the grand tour. And now it's a 2-swing game. It's 7-2. So Baltimore has definitely busted this game wide open in the 9th. Jim Gentile is 1 for 3. Uhara will stay in. That's hit to right. Evans is right there for the putout. And there's finally an out on the board in the Baltimore 9th. Gene Woodling is 1 for 4. He hits it right to Frisch, and he has a web gem of a play. So he did something spectacular for the second out. Might come too little too late for Boston. Singleton is 2 for 3. And that's ball 4. Uhara is at 13 pitches. His pitch count can go to 80. So he's fine. We're going to leave him in for Murray, 0 for 4. And that's ball 4. So on the double, I think the Red Sox are in more trouble. Lindsey Buckingham, early 1980s. Ripken is 0 for 4. And that's hit to center. Can Lynn get to it? He can, and finally the side retired for Baltimore in the 9th, but they pick up 4 and blow the game open. It's 7-2. Boston needs 5 to tie, 6 to win. They're going to leave Rucker in, which is always kind of dangerous, for Jason Varitek, who is 2 for 3 on the day. That's strikeout number 6 for Rucker, who has gone the distance, as we often see in this league with a lot of these old-time pitchers who would go the distance whenever they got the ball. It's not unusual in this game, especially with the DH, which we use for both leagues, to see them go the distance because they don't have to be pinch hit for. Wade Boggs is 1 for 4. Grounded a third. Robinson, again, a sparkling job he has done all day. He gets it to Murray for the second out. We have Frankie Frisch up. I'm going to put Yaz in, just to put Yaz in. Yaz on the season is .310. He has 1 RBI and 29 at-bats. Sharply hit, but right to Grich, and the game is over. Baltimore doing it with home runs and defense. Earl Weaver would be proud. Orioles 7 and the Red Sox 2. So we'll give you the line score and we'll get out of here. Baltimore 7-11-0. Boston 2-7-0. Game took 3 hours 27 minutes of, not real time, but however Dave Koch Sports accounts for time of play. And we'll just leave that to him. Rucker is 2-1, went the distance, 7 hits surrendered, 2 runs, both earned, walked 4, struck out 6, and even though his expected pitch count was 135, he went 150 and he went the distance. Parnell, the loser, 1-2. He pitched 8 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 3 gopher balls, 3 walks, 2 Ks. And his pitch count was 134. Uhara came in relief. 1 run, 1 hit. And it's nobody I'd want to talk to. Sorry, folks. 1 home run, 2 walks, 22 pitches. And his ERA is 196. Didn't go anywhere near his pitch count of 80. The MVP of the game was Knapp Rucker. I think that's deserved. Whatever you want to call it. And that's going to do it for today in the Hometown Baseball League. We will be back tomorrow And whoever Washington's playing, the Washington Nationals, that's who we're going to cover. Trying to get all of the teams we haven't seen yet in the HTBL, get them some face time, and then we will focus in on who's doing well and who's not. This has been Big Polly coming to you, wishing you well, Godspeed and God bless. We will do it all again very, very soon. Bye bye for now, everybody.